your tech moment. GDPR strengthens tech giants. Mike Masnick writes, another report shows the GDPR benefited Google and Facebook and hurt everyone else. Is it the law of unintended consequences, or is Silicon Valley promoting a law that enables it to move even faster in jackboots? The article reads, we warned folks that these big attempts to regulate the internet as a way to punish Google and Facebook would only help those companies. Last fall, about 6 months into the GDPR, we noticed that there appeared to be one big winner from the law, Google. And now the Wall Street Journal notes that it's increasingly looking like Facebook and Google have grown thanks to the GDPR, while the competition has been wiped out. Quote, the GDPR has tended to hand power to the big platforms because they have the ability to collect and process the data, unquote, says Mark Reed, CEO of advertising giant WPP PLC. It has, quote, entrenched the interests of the incumbent and made it harder for small ad tech companies who ironically tend to be European, end quote. You can read more about this over at TechDirt. James Vincent writes, new AI deepfake app creates nude images of women in seconds. A new AI-powered software tool makes it easy for anyone to generate realistic nude images of women simply by feeding the program a picture of the intended target wearing clothes. The app is called DeepNude, and it's the latest example of AI-generated deepfakes being used to create compromising images of unsuspecting women. The software was first spotted by Motherboard's Samantha Cole and is available to download free for Windows, with a premium version that offers better resolution output images available for $99. The fake nudes aren't perfect, but could easily be mistaken for the real thing. Both the free and premium versions of the app add watermarks to the AI-generated nudes that clearly identify them as, quote, fake, but in the images created by Motherboard, this watermark is easy to remove. We were unable to test the app ourselves as the servers have apparently been overloaded. You can read the rest of this popular article on non-consensual pornography over at The Verge. These stories are making the rounds every week now. We get it already. People have been photoshopping heads on bodies for as long as there has been Photoshop. I can't help but wonder why these articles are promoted. Is it so we won't believe our eyes when we're provided with video evidence? Are these technologies used as a defense when someone says, that's not me, that's someone's idea of a joke? Is it meant to excuse behavior that would shock a spouse, an employer, constituents? Or is it an attempt to curb smut purveyors, an updated People versus Larry Flint? And if so, who is pushing it? Politicians? Morality police? David Hambling writes, the Pentagon has a laser that can identify people from a distance by their heartbeat. Everyone's heart is different. Like the iris or fingerprint, our unique cardiac signature can be used as a way to tell us apart. Crucially, it can be done from a distance. It's that last point that has intrigued U.S. Special Forces. Other long-range biometric techniques include gait analysis, which identifies someone by the way he or she walks. This method was supposedly used to identify an infamous ISIS terrorist before a drone strike. But gaits, like faces, are not necessarily distinctive. An individual's cardiac signature is unique, though, and unlike faces or gait, it remains constant and cannot be altered or disguised. A new device developed for the Pentagon after the U.S. Special Forces requested it can identify people without seeing their face. Instead, it detects their unique cardiac signature with an infrared laser. While it works at 200 meters, longer distances could be possible with a better laser. Quote, I don't want to say you could do it from space, unquote, says Stuart Remley of the Pentagon's Combating Terrorism Technical Support Office, quote, but longer ranges should be possible, end quote. You can read all about this new form of identification at MIT Technology Review. Daniel Etherington writes, Volkswagen launches WeShare all-electric car-sharing service. Making good on plans revealed last year to debut an EV-exclusive car-sharing service, Volkswagen is actually launching its fleet for customers, debuting WeShare, a new shared service similar to Car2Go or GM's Maven, but featuring only all-electric vehicles. Initially, WeShare will be available only in Berlin, where it's launching today with 1,500 Volkswagen e-Golf cars, making up an on-demand rental fleet. The plan is to add 500 more cars to the available population by early next year, specifically the e-Up Electric City Company car, and then it'll also play host to the brand new ID.3 fully electric car when that's officially launched. VW is still targeting the middle of next year for a street date for that vehicle, which is part of its all-new ID line of vehicles designed from the ground up based on its next-generation electric vehicle platform. In terms of new geographies, WeShare will look to launch in Prague in partnership with VW Group sub-brand Skoda, and also in Hamburg, both sometime in 2020. There's more to this story today over at TechCrunch. Greg Kaiser writes, Mozilla takes swipe at Chrome with Track This project. Mozilla this week touted Firefox's anti-ad tracking talents by urging users of other browsers to load 100 tabs to trick those trackers, and offering goods and services suitable for someone in the 1% and end times devotee and other archetypes. Tagged as Track This, the only semi-tongue-in-cheek project lets users select from 4 personas, including Hype Beast, Filthy Rich, Doomsday Prepper, and Influencer for illustrative purposes. Track This can open 100 tabs to fool trackers into thinking you're someone else. This article about polluting online personas for fun and privacy can be found at Computer World. In other parts of the internet, from DSL reports links, Ajit Pai didn't kill the internet, he made it stronger. Stories at WashingtonExaminer.com. The fastest U.S. ISPs of 2019, that story is over at PCMag.com. Huawei says it's talking with Verizon and other U.S. firms about royalties for using its patented tech. That story's at CNBC.com. The deep dive into how Verizon and a BGP optimizer knocked large parts of the internet offline Monday. That story's over at Cloudflare.com. Verizon versus AT&T versus Sprint. Guess who's winning 5G so far? That story comes from CNET.com. AT&T facing class action lawsuit over hidden fees. That story's at TalkAndroid.com. Roku will soon have 70% more over-the-top devices in global streaming market than next closest competitor. That story is at multichannel.com. Researchers demonstrate how the U.S. wireless emergency alert system, which uses LTE networks, can be easily spoofed with pirate cell towers to cause mass panic. That crazy story is over at Vice.com. Fubo TV launches free ad-supported streaming sports network. That's at Variety.com. And finally, Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, the ACCC, sues telco giant Optus for allegedly misleading customers about the need to move to the national broadband network. That story can be found at zdnet.com. Help me out by thumbing this up or give it claps or telling people or sharing it on social media, please. I would appreciate it. Politics may be married to technology and big media, but sometimes individuals can make a difference. Get the Dirty Deeds Playbook today for just $2.99 on Kindle or for a few dollars more in paperback. This satirical field manual uses fools and fanatics to sow chaos in American elections. Tools and techniques, observations, and deception I've seen in the election process over these past few years. Support this news aggregation service by checking out my website at yourtechmoment.com today. Links there show all the places you can listen or watch for free. Also, find out about my other projects, subscribe to my newsletter and alerts, or buy books, advertise, and support this project with some merchandise purchases. Have a great day.